Hi, I'm Hannah Wallace and welcome to FinextraTV for EBAday 2021. Calling into our virtual studio now is Bierry, Deputy CEO of Sopra Banking Software. So Eric, it's great to have you on. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, thank you. I'm very pleased to be there with you.
It's really good to have you on. So today we're discussing the European payments market, which I know you have had extensive experience in. So perhaps you could kick things off by giving us a brief outline of your experience in this space.
Yes, so I'm working in the banking software industry for the last 20 years across Europe, but also Asia, including India. And for the last 5 years, being part of the executive committee of Sopra Banking Software, and as a deputy CEO for the last 2 years. So that's the track record I do have today on this stream.
Okay, so you're in a great position then to shed some light on the evolution of the payments market. So what's your view here?
First, this is a very huge market. It's more than 1 trillion revenue annually. Surprisingly, that market is more linked to the North America with more than 40% of the total revenue, and Asia. And when we are looking at Europe, it's only 13% of the total revenue. This market is moving very fast because of new trends, not only linked to the pandemic, but the digitalization of payments, the request for real-time payments, and the diversity which is expected by the consumers and by the corporates in terms of payment instruments is becoming very important and asking high level of exigencies to the different financial institutions.
All right, so taking all of that into account then, how can European institutions further increase their presence in the payments market? What about that?
They have two challenges and two key different challenges. One is that the processing of the payments is linked to the economy of scale, so they need to reduce their cost in that part. And the only way to reduce the cost on the processing is the ability to deliver at scale. So there are several ways to do it. One is to use global player with a huge volume. The second approach is that they are looking for mutualization with other banks to design a factory to deliver that processing. So that's the part of the economy at scale. There is a second part, which is their positioning to innovate in front of their clients. And in fact, they need to save money on the economy at scale to deliver more value to their clients, being retail clients or corporate clients. And from that perspective, for sure, EPI, for example, is a way for the European players to become more independent from the global players, but also they have to open more and more their system to bring a user or client experience a lot more seamless and definitely fully open to their ecosystem. This is the critical key success factor for me for the European financial institutions.
Mm-hmm. All right, so how can Sopra Banking Software help banks then to answer some of the challenges you've already highlighted?
So as I said at the beginning, Sopra Banking Software is for the last 20 years in the heart of the retail banking system. So retail banking system is account management and is payments. And from that perspective, we have more than 1,500 clients, not only in Europe, but across the world. And if we are looking only at the payment positioning, it's more than 250 banks which are working with our product and our services around the payment across 50 countries at the moment. So from that perspective, and the way we are looking at this is we are able to support them in their strategy to design and to build factories for the processing. So we are not a processor, but we are able to support them with our assets to give them a strong facility to deliver an industrialized value. So that's on one hand, and I can give an example, such like the Transactis institutions in France, so the joint venture between SocGen and Postal Bank, where we are supporting large part of their system with our assets. So that's one way, historically, I should say. But looking at the last 3-4 years, there is strong demand from the market to have new usages. And from that perspective, SaaS with future-proof, the ability to scale up for new use cases. So from PSD2, which is more traditional, I should say, to request to pay, to instant payment on SaaS, and moving to the new, I should say, use cases for API. This has to be delivered as a service, linked like an ecosystem to the different banks. And that's where we are at the moment. That's our positioning for tomorrow.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your insights, Eric. And is there a final message you'd like to give to your European customers?
Sure. I think there is one very important. We are moving from a payment flow strategy to a data flow strategy. And when we are looking at the stake of the data for all the financial institutions, all the payments are giving tons of data which are linked today and tomorrow for a better anticipating of the client behavior, but also to be a lot more compliant with all the different policies, such like RGPD for the European initiatives, but maybe also for a lot more control, looking at AML or some other things like this. So I think that movement from the payment flow to the data flow is the critical last word for me.
A positive point to end on there. Eric, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your insights.
Thank you.